G4 put themselves in a terrible position when they allowed Frosk to go on an Unhinged rant and then they promoted it. They thought that it would make them look amazing and they'd bring in the woke audience they clearly wanted. Sessler attacked Republicans. Frosk said if you don't like her stunning rant about sexism in gaming, you shouldn't watch the network's programs, and all of their viewers left. I've talked about various people at the network jumping ship or even being laid off, but now it seems like the individual who started the massive problem for them has been fired. I have a bunch of things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So this has been circulating on social media for a couple of hours at this point. I just found out about it and I really wanted to talk about it, but before we discuss the fact that it seems like Frosk has been fired, I wanted to talk about why this has happened, what started all of this. Now, of course, G4 relaunched. They thought that they were going to be super successful and they were going to break back into the gaming industry and people were going to love them, and a lot of individuals were initially very excited for G4 to be back, but unfortunately, they killed themselves off very, very quickly. Specifically, it started with the sexism in gaming rant made by Frosk. So this was an article back from January when it all started. It says, in what may be one of the most unsurprising backfires of all time, G4 has begun to bleed subscribers by the thousands following X-Play host Frosk's recent on-air rant about sexism in gaming. Now, of course, over the past few weeks, they have tried to bury this rant. They deleted the standalone video on their YouTube channel. They decided to delete their initial tweets about it. They have kind of tried to hide it the best that they could, but of course the internet doesn't forget. It's been re-uploaded, people have been talking about this, and whenever we hear Frosk's name now, this is what we will think of. Of course, as you can see, the video is unavailable. It is private. The live stream where she did this rant is still up on their channel at the time of this recording, but the YouTube video has been removed for a couple of weeks at this point. It started with joining G4. I was ecstatic to be part of something I grew up watching as a child, but every time G4 is brought up in various channels, I can see without a doubt there will be backlash because I am not as bangable as the previous hosts. She says, it's not a compliment. Women don't exist to be nice on the eyes for you. And that's just obvious sexism. You don't need to explicitly objectify women or declare that you hate women to be sexist. Now, of course, people didn't take this rant as positively as G4 was hoping because they did lose thousands of subscribers and thousands of viewers. Unfortunately for them, this rant really kind of started the downfall of the, at that point, recently relaunched G4. There were other problems with G4, like Adam Sessler. I mean, he has attacked Republicans so many times. He has said that Republicans are dumb and stupid and terrible human beings, and he even hates his own family members that are Republican. But of course, after all of these situations piled up and they lost thousands of viewers and subscribers, it led to layoffs. I mean, just a couple of days ago at this point, I talked about this situation where we heard a couple of people at G4, I believe it was 30, were laid off. And, I don't want to celebrate people getting laid off or getting fired. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. I just respect humans in general. But Frosk decided, instead of feeling bad for these people that she worked with and putting out a statement like, I'm really sad to see them go, G4 won't be the same without them, Frosk decided to post a tone-deaf meme celebrating her continued employment. She posted this meme that says, I survived, and of course, People were furious over this. I mean, it is a really terrible post to make. You are literally celebrating the fact that people got fired and you are mocking them. But maybe she spoke a little bit too soon because, according to her Twitter, she doesn't work for G4TV anymore. Of course, her profile on Twitter is very different than it was just a couple of days ago. Now, checking the Wayback Machine, this capture was from January 27th, 2022, when, of course, all of the G4 drama started. Her description on Twitter says, at G4TV host, United Talent Agency. It's got her Twitter linked, it's got the G4TV esports linked, and it says her pronouns, which are she/her. But if you look at the Twitter account now, it's not there. I mean, it just says United Talent Agency. And just a couple of days ago, when I made the video talking about the post that she had made, it said G4TV host still. So this has changed only in the past 5 days. Of course, I haven't been checking her account constantly. I haven't been, going to it and looking at her posts all the time, but it definitely is different. We don't have any other details besides that, but it does seem very suspicious that now suddenly, after the newest wave of backlash against her, this is removed from her bio. Of course, I'm sure in the next day or two she will make a statement simply because there are a lot of people talking about this right now. I'm sure that she will clarify, but it sounds like she got fired at this point. Of course, I am not celebrating the fact that anyone has gotten fired. I am not for cancel culture. My goal when talking about her was not to get her fired from her job and canceled, but she did try to kill the gaming industry. And I mean, she attacked gamers. She attacked all of us by calling us ists simply because we thought the previous G4 hosts were attractive. I honestly don't really feel that bad for Frosk at this point. Back in January, she was the one who decided to go on the show and do that giant rant, attack viewers, and just attack gamers in general. She didn't really care about the consequences. She wasn't thinking about anyone but herself. She decided to go into that rant, and now look where G4 is. Firing Frosk isn't going to get their viewers back. It's not going to turn the network around. People aren't going to praise them. People aren't going to come back and give them a third chance at this point. Now, of course, Frosk hasn't made a statement on this, and when she does, I will link it down below and I will pin it, and I most likely will actually talk about it in a video just to wrap up the whole G4 saga. But honestly, G4 is dead at this point. I don't see a way that they can turn themselves around even by firing Frosk. I just think that they still look terrible, and at the end of the day, their viewers are not going to return to them. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.